strife, full of wisdom, truth, and full of lies. I found love a couple times. It was nice. Had a couple trusted friends and some, but now this life is a long ride. It was strife. The test of a man is how survives. I had thoughts of suicide and family life. A coward dies 1,000 times. Choose your life.
Okay, this not my first time in this hemisphere. Lord knows I've been here. I fucked up before, so I understand my condition here. Born no knowledge of self, though my parents were sincere, became a thunderous wanderer, lost in this biosphere. Nana on her deathbed, telling me I'm tired, dear. At the age of 4, that was yesteryear. Now I'm at 34, showing signs of her spirit here. Too young to think of rest beyond the stratosphere. Became numb to love due to trust issues that never heal. Damage people, watch your step in this minefield. Best believe I tell you these demons are real. Your flesh know yourself, being praying for Lord to interfere. God knows I've been going through shit. Even through it all, I found lessons in it. Though my soul has never found peace with every step, I gain strength, so I swear I'll never quit.
This life is a long ride, full of strife, full of wisdom, truth, and full of lies. I found love a couple times. It was nice. Had a couple trusted friends and some, but now this life is a long ride. It was strife. The test of a man is how survives. I had thoughts of suicide and family life. A coward dies 1,000 times. Choose your life.
The test of a man is the grit that he daily shows. The way he stands up on his feet and takes like bumps and blows. In this furnace of affliction, you can't be no hoe. The character of a man ain't shown when things are good, when things are low. Lord knows I didn't walk through the fire. Feet to the coals, had a couple demons try to take my soul, while leaving footprints in the sand as I stroll in this mission of ascension for this vessel gets sold. Generational curses sometimes take their toll. No man is a prophet in the land of his home. In the man's household are many foes. Family means well, but most times they pigeonhole. I pray the Father welcomes this prodigal son home. Just living out my life right in my wrongs. If I die tonight, no fear, my soul lives on.
Life is a long ride, full of strife, full of wisdom, truth, and full of lies. I found love a couple times. It was nice. Had a couple trusted friends and some, but now this life is a long ride. It was strife. The test of a man is how survives. I had thoughts of suicide and family life. A coward dies 1,000 times. Choose your life. This life is a long ride.
Give it up. I got what you said. This is Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. Today is Wednesday class, and today we're going to be covering, I know today is a law class, but today we're going to be covering the origins of Christmas. You know, around that time, everybody starts to get that warm little spirit and start doing those regular pagan activities that they don't even know why they do it. You know, we are always programmed to just go with the flow. And one thing that we don't do is ask questions. Like for instance, if somebody asks you, why do you bring a Christmas tree in your house? And you wouldn't even know why. What you would say? Because my family did it when I was younger. You know, we grew up doing it. You know, but why do you do it? What is the reason? Like, what is the origin behind it? You know, why do you put these decorations on this tree? Like, what does it mean? You know what I'm saying? That's something we need to start to look at. Like, another question you need to ask yourself is, Why are you kissing somebody under the mistletoe? Like, why are you doing that? Why are you holding some a piece of grass over your head and then you going to go kiss somebody? Like, what is the origin behind that? Or why do you even decorate the tree in your house? What's the story behind the star? Why you even put the star at the top of the Christmas tree? Like, these are the type of things that we need to ask ourselves, because we just go with the flow and we don't even know what we're doing or why we're doing it. In I.S.U.P.K, one thing is we need to we always see why we doing things. Is it according to the Most High? Is it something that will anger the Most High? And one thing we don't know is we don't know why we do these things. We're going to take some history out of the book of the Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. He was a Edomite, a minister, also like heavy in the Christian church. And one thing that he did bring out was the truth about Christmas and some historical facts about what happened. Ram, if you could read to me off page 57 out of that, start at the festivals of Rome, if you could.
This is the book, The Two Babylons, by Alexander Hislop. Page 57 at the bottom of the page, left column. The festivals of Rome are innumerable, but 5 of the most important may be singled out for elucidation: Christmas Day, Lady Day, Easter, the Nativity of Saint John, and the Feast of the Assumption.
Now these holidays these festivals that they did in the Roman time were like very, very heavy. I know some people don't know about Lady Day. That's just the day that they celebrate where the Virgin Mary was told that she was going to be carrying the Christ. She was given information. Virgin. Oh, yeah, Virgin in the ground. What you trying to do? Oh, the water. The water. I didn't even know that was there. Man, appreciate it. He talking about this. This little hole right here. Appreciate the water. Good looking at it. Go ahead and keep reading for me for that, Ron. Pretty much they're letting you know about these are some of the heaviest, most important, not important, but these are the most heaviest festivals that they always carried out during those times in Babylon. Go ahead, keep reading.
Each and all of these can be proved to be Babylonian. And first, as to the festival in honor of the birth of Christ, or Christmas. How comes it that the festival was connected with the 25th of December?
So what we're going to figure out is how come this festival was combined for December 25th. There's a reason behind that. They just didn't pick a date for no reason. They chose this birth of Christ, this Babylonian custom about the birth of Christ, and combining with Christmas, all for a reason. It all has a stem. Everything has a beginning. And this is how we're going to find that beginning. Keep reading.
There is not a word in the scriptures about the precise day of his birth.
Read that one more time.
There is not a word in the scriptures about the precise day of his birth.
So, matter of fact, keep reading.
Or the time of year when he was born.
So, when you go through the scriptures, it does not tell you the time of day, the year he was born, or anything of that nature. It doesn't say that at all. It doesn't say December 25th, he was born or nothing like that. But for some reason, everybody, all the Christian church, not even the world, gathers together and celebrate Christmas Day. And then when you ask them why you celebrate it, I want to celebrate it for the Lord's Day, just to remember Christ's birthday. But the scriptures don't even say that at all. So why would you even say that? Go ahead and keep reading, Ron.
One, or the time of year when he was born. What is recorded there implies that at what time soever his birth took place, it could not have been on the 25th of December.
It could not have been on the 25th of December. See, there's a reason why the 25th of December is so important, because that is the day of the winter solstice. That is the day when the night is the longest extended throughout the year. So the pagans thought that this was the time the sun started to gain dominance over the night. And because of that, they started to create these fake gods out of it. So for them, it's like the sun is being resurrected again or born again. And that's why you start to get these sun gods. So depending on what background you come from, the different type of sun god that you're gonna be serving. Like for instance, you go to Egypt, you're gonna have the god Horus, the Egyptian sun god. You go to the Roman Greco sun god, you're going to get Helios. Or you go to the Roman gods like Zeus and all that, you get Apollo. Or you go to the Hindu god, you get the sun god Mithra. Now she is the female that you see on the Statue of Liberty. When you see that little crown over it, that's a sun crown over her head. That's the Hindu god Mithra. Or when you look at the Babylonian, you see the god Nimrod. And throughout the time, he was deified by his mother, and later on was known as Baal. When you go through the history of Nimrod. Now, all the scholars, and know that this was the time that these pagans or the people, even Israelites that didn't follow, the truth, was celebrating and worshiping these fake gods. Like, and it has nothing to do with Christ. Like they were celebrating Christmas way before Christ. They just wanted to mix all it in to get everybody up and going. Go ahead and keep reading around. Give me start at the time. It's on the same, should be on the same page. Highlighted. At the time the angels announced.
One. At the time that the angel announced his birth to the shepherds of Bethlehem, they were feeding their flocks by night in the open fields.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no doubt, the climate of Palestine is not so severe as the climate of this country, but even there, though the heat of the day be considerable, the cold of the night,
Mm-hmm.
from December to February, is very piercing.
So they letting you know off top, the Palestinian winters were too cold. So for you to say that, Christ was born on December 25th, it doesn't make logical sense. A shepherd is not going to be outside gathering his flock in the winter. If anything, they're not going to be at night. If you want to go by that notion, at least they'll wait during the daytime while it ain't so piercing cold. If you want to go by that notion, you about to say something wrong?
Like, if anybody that deals with livestock, like even people that deal with horses,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? In the wintertime, like right now, you know what I'm saying, everybody's horses and everything of their livestock are inside in the barns right now.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They've gathered hay, so much hay and feed for them to for those animals to survive inside, in the barns versus being outside in those elements, right? During the season. That's all I got, sir.
You're absolutely right. What was you at in that?
And it was not the custom for the shepherds of Judea to watch their flocks in the open fields later than about the end of October.
So the historian books is telling you, like, even if they were to be doing it, they would stop at October at the latest. And they're gonna keep going and continue to graze the flocks at night, or it's just too cold to be doing something like that. Like none of the whole being outside on December 25th, seeing the stars while you gathering the shepherds doesn't make sense. It's not happening. Go ahead and keep reading. Reading at the time of Christ. Yes, sir.
This is page 57, right column at the middle of the page. At the birth of Christ, every woman and child was to go to be taxed at the city whereto they belonged.
Hold on. See, now during the time Christ was birthed, there was a tax going on. Same thing that goes on now. You are taxed every year. You know, around springtime, you are taxed. You know, there was a reason why there was tax at a certain time. Go ahead and keep reading.
Whether some had long journeys, but the middle of the winter was not fitting for such a business, especially for women with child and children to travel in. Therefore, Christ could not be born in the depth of winter.
See, so when you trying to tax somebody, see, back then they didn't have like cars with heaters in them. You know what I'm saying? Trains to be to ride in to get a little heat so they can, you know, travel during the winter. Like they had to walk to city or ride their horse from city to city. They're not going to do it in the depth of winter. It wouldn't be good business sense to make somebody come from 2 cities over to pay the taxes where they residence is in. You're not gonna get your money. They're not gonna do it. The travel extent is too cold, especially like I said, if you got women and children with you, they're not gonna make the trip. You know, just imagine right now, you a brother riding from one side, from one state to another. You ride in the car with your kids and everything, they getting on your nerves. Just imagine if you walking or riding a little donkey to the next city and it's cold as hell, brother, you gonna have a hard time. The trip is not even bearable for you. You know, like that type of stuff is lining up to where it doesn't make sense to where Christ will be born in December 25th. So there's another reason why they're trying to bring it together and mash it all together. Go ahead and give me pull out. Matter of fact, let's bring out the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and look up Christmas. Should be on page 108, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna get to the bottom of, you know, Christmas itself. What does the Zondervan Bible Dictionary says about Christmas? Because it's in there as well. Zondervan Bible Dictionary too. I'm gonna follow along with you.
This is a
Go ahead, Ron.
Christmas, the anniversary of the birth of Christ and its observance, celebrated by most Protestants and by Roman Catholics on December 25th.
So it's celebrated by the Protestants and Roman Catholics. Go ahead and keep reading.
And by Eastern Orthodox churches on January 6th, and by the Armenian Church on January 19th. The first mention of its observance on December 25th is in the time of Constantine, about AD 325.
So go ahead and keep reading.
The date of his birth, the Slakia, the date of the birth of Christ is not known. The word Christmas was formed of Christ plus mass, meaning a mass of religious service in commemoration of the birth of Christ.
Stop there. Go back to what the Son Bible Dictionary said. The date of the birth said was what?
The date of the birth of Christ is not known. The word Christmas is formed of Christ plus mass.
Now go back up and said the first mention in the observance. Read that sentence one more time.
The first mention of its observance on December 25th is in the time of Constantine, about AD 325.
See, that man right there, Constantine, was a catalyst of Christmas. He was the one that meshed all this together because, hold on a second. Because see, Constantine knew he was dealing with people that he was trying to rule that still was doing their own thing. You got the Celtics celebrating their gods. You got other cultures celebrating their gods. He's trying to bring everybody together. Some other people celebrating Saturnalia, you know, which was a whole nother freak fest. You know, you got a whole other people just celebrating everything out of the ordinary. So he's trying to bring everybody kind of under one banner. Because when they were celebrating Saturnalia, they were doing orgies, exchanging gifts, singing these songs, just having a good old time. And like I said earlier, these scholars know this type of history, but they ignore it because there's a reason why Christmas is still celebrated today. Because of this money. Go ahead, what you about to say, Ron?
Salaki, if I may, this is the same person that changed the Sabbath day from Saturday to Sunday.
You are speaking no lies, sir. Speaking no lies at all. This is another reason. Even your pastors know this. I mean, this is a minister that wrote this book and is telling this. See, the pastors know, but Christmas, like these heavy holiday times, Christmas, Easter, even New Year's Day, that's a good time where all they flock come to the church, and he get them tithes. He to get that money. Because usually during the year, not too many people be going to church every day. But when them holidays hit, he about to get some butts in them seats. And he about to just act a fool. He about to put the music on. He about to do the praise dance up in there. He about to run around the church, tell you we're doing it for Christ. He about to act. It's about to be a concert. You know what I'm saying? That's why even during the New Year's time, they have the countdown. You know what I'm saying? And they have a countdown, all these songs and pass a collection plate around about 5 or 6 times. It's all a money grab. So they got no problem telling you these lies, spilling all this falseful information just to dig in your pockets. There's a reason for that. It's the same reason why even these brick and mortar stores, like Macy's and JCPenney's and Dillard's, like all these stores, Best Buy, all that, they just push that Christmas spirit in you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when throughout the year, they in the red. But when the holidays hit, they so-called put these prices, these specials up to get everybody to flock back to the stores so they can spend all their bread. So they can be good for the rest of the year. We about to say wrong? So it's like there's a reason why they want to keep pushing this. It's an agenda. It's all a money grab. You got too much people making money off of you putting a Christmas tree in your house. You know what I'm saying? Why make you stop? If I can continue to get if I can, it's because your oppressor's like, if I can continue to get, millions of dollars just off of 1 week, because you just want to get a Christmas tree, you want to get all these gifts and all that, be broke, because they'll buy all these gifts before they get the rent paid or pay the light bill, because they feel their family or they love is gonna be like, man, you don't love me, you ain't give me no Christmas gift. Let me tell you something. I feel like a Go commercial. I save so much money by switching over to the truth. Like, you don't understand these birthdays, and like every time you look up, you gotta spend some money on a gift for somebody. Somebody's birthday. Yeah, somebody. Then it's Christmas time. Then it's another person's birthday. Then you keep. It's always something. It's like every people born every day. You know what I'm saying? You spending money on gifts every week. It's too much. You don't have no big family during the Christmas time. You got your mom, your dad, your sister, and your sister got her kids, or your brother got his kids, and you can't forget them. And then don't have a rib or a husband. You got to get something for them. Then if you got kids, you got to get something. Man, your whole check gone. Go ahead and read. Let me see. The next highlighted section. How then? Read that for me, Ron.
Column 1 card, page 58, left column, second paragraph. How then did the Romish Church fix on December 25th as Christmas Day? Why? Thus, long before the 4th century and long before the Christian era itself, a festival was celebrated among the heathen at the precise time of the year in Salakia, in honor of the birth of the son of the Babylonian queen of heaven.
Stop right there. The birth of, say that one more time.
The birth of the Babylonian queen of heaven.
What they were celebrating was, I was saying earlier, the feast of the Saturnalia. That was a Roman freak fest. Like I was saying earlier, when the men would gather together, sing songs, drink, be merry, have orgies with each other. Little boys get molested. Like it was not just one day like December 25th. That thing was like a whole week-long celebration. Them boys was getting busy. These same Christmas carols, where do you think Christmas carols come from? Think they just came out of nowhere? These same Christmas carols stem from Saturnalia, because what they did was they sing songs during that time to get everybody merry and get filled with the Spirit, so it can be move you and you feel all cozy and want to get together, things of that nature. Like all these little trinkets that we do in this Christmas time, all has an origin. It all has a beginning. And the thing is, we're sitting here programmed to continue to indulge in something that we don't even bother to think about what we're doing. I mean, even the Bible tells you not to be doing some stuff like that. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. Go ahead and keep reading. I want you to read. Let's see the next one. And it may fairly be. Should be on the
Column 1 card. And it may fairly be presumed that in order to conciliate the heathen and to swell the number of the normal adherents of Christianity, the same festival was adopted, the nominal adherents of Christianity. And the same festival was adopted by the Roman Church, giving it only the name of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
This tendency on the part of Christians to meet paganism halfway was very early developed.
So this was a compromise. So you got Constantine, he's sitting there trying to get everybody all together. He wants some people to celebrate, Christ, whatever, but they want to do Saturnalia. Some people want to do celebrate their Celtic gods. So you're like, you know what? You celebrate your, Saturnalia, but we all gonna celebrate all this, sun god stuff all on December 25th, but we just gonna call it Christ. We just gonna call it Christmas. We just gonna put Christ in the beginning of it. Still do your thing, still have your orgy, still sing your songs, still trade gifts. We just gonna put it all in one day, and we gonna, we gonna make it Christmas with that. We're gonna put Christ in the beginning of it. You know, like, well, I can still do what I want to do. I can still, you know, take this little boy to the back and, you know what I'm saying, and do this. I can still, you know, get with my neighbor, you know, get with my neighbor John, and, you know, we can put rub hair chest on back chest. You know, you know, we can do all that or something like that. You can still say we can do what we're gonna do. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing, you know. Compromise. Big compromise to try to get everybody under one banner. That's what he did. So that's why you got a little piece of everything being thrown into one big, huge celebration, just like, because Christmas is like a worldwide celebration. That's how big Saturnalia was. Like that thing was huge. It's like Christmas is huge. Like they might not have like Thanksgiving in every single, you know what I'm saying, culture or city, but that Christmas hits. Like when November hit, right after that Thanksgiving is done, lights go up. Start seeing Santa in front of the house on the chicken. Sometimes they have specials in July, talking about Christmas in July, because they just can't wait to get to it. Because they filled with it. It's something that just pulls you into it. Just like with all things that's against the Most High. They just keep pushing it in your face and pushing it in your face, trying to force it on you. Go ahead and keep reading, Ron. Read that Christmas was originally.
Got one card. Same page 58, left column. That Christmas was originally a pagan festival is beyond all doubt. The time of year and the ceremonies with which it is still celebrated prove its origin.
So it's telling you that all these celebrations, all these ceremonies, which was Egyptian origin, with the Christmas tree and all that, it proves it. Like we're still doing the same thing that they did back in the Babylonian time, the same thing back in the Roman Greco time. Like this ain't nothing new. Keep reading, Ron.
One card. In Egypt, the son of Isis, the Egyptian title for the Queen of Heaven, was born at this very time.
Go ahead.
About the time of the winter solstice.
The time of the winter solstice. Like I said earlier, that's the time of when the sun is at its lowest point and starts to dominate, you know, the sky when the night is the longest in the year. So they seeing that as a time where, you know, the sun is born. So that's when I said earlier that you see all these different sun gods start to pop up. You know, they start to worship all these sun gods. Go ahead, keep reading, Ron.
One con. The very name by which Christmas is popularly known among ourselves, Yule Day, proves at once its pagan and Babylonian origin.
Go ahead.
Yule is the Chaldee name for an infant or little child.
Remember that, an infant or a little child. Go ahead, keep reading.
And as the 25th of December was called by our pagan Anglo-Saxon ancestors, Yule Day or Child's Day or the Child's Day, and the night that preceded it, Mother Night, long before they came in contact with Christianity. That sufficiently proves its real character.
So it's telling you, like I was saying earlier, the different type of culture that you're in, you just calling it by a different name. See, Anglo-Saxon, they calling it Yule Day. The Romans calling it Saturnalia. You know, like depending on where you come from, they just calling it a different thing. Like there is, like the scriptures say, there is nothing new under the sun. You are doing what they did way back when. You just don't know why you're doing it. You just don't understand the background of the history of it. You just jump down because, you know, I grew up doing it. You know, and then especially when you tell somebody the truth about certain things, they're like, well, we do it because of the kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, you mold your kids in order to do these things. Kids come out They not even a year old yet, and you throwing them in front of the Christmas tree, got presents all. They don't know what they looking at. They don't know nothing. They just see colors and noise. It's just same thing with a birthday. When you celebrating a kid's 1 year birthday, they don't know nothing. All they see is a whole bunch of people around them, and you just pushing them, you molding them to say every year this is what we gonna do. This is you are programming your child to start celebrating something that the Most High is against. Well, give me part about the candles. We're gonna get into these candles. See the origin of these candles, because there's a reason why you do this also. Matter of fact, I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go back to read the one that says the Christmas tree.
Kind of one kind.
This is the origin of the Christmas tree. Why you do it? Why do you hang it up in your household? What is the reason of it? Like that itself has an origin in itself. Go ahead and read that, Ron. You said what? It's on page 59. Should be highlighted.
It's page 59, right column. Second part of the page. The Christmas tree, now so common among us, was equally common in pagan Rome and pagan Egypt. In Egypt, that tree was the palm tree.
Mm-hmm.
In Rome, it was the fir. The palm tree denoting the pagan Messiah as Baal Tamar. The fir referring to him as Baal Berith,
Mm-hmm. Keep reading.
the mother of Adonis, the sun god and great mediatorial divinity, was mystically said to have been changed into a tree.
Now, what you're reading, and like I said earlier, keep saying this over and over again, depending on where you from or where you lived in, the zone that you was in, you still celebrating the same thing. But in this instance, in Egypt, it was a palm tree. In another place, it's the fir. Referring to, what was that name again in that?
Baal Berith.
Baal Berith.
Or
Now-
Baal Tamar. You talking about the name of
Yeah, the name of the little god they separate, that they worship.
Yeah, and in Egypt, so like, let's say, I just read that sentence over, sir.
All right, go ahead.
In Egypt, there was a tree. The tree was the palm tree. In
Mhm.
Rome, it was the fir. The palm tree denoting the pagan Messiah as Baal Tamar.
Mm-hmm.
The fir referring to him as Baal Berith.
Now, when you reading the scriptures, I believe at least in the New Testament, you got a god that a fake god that they worship named Baal. And when you go to the New Testament, they started to call him Beelzebub or Baalzebub. Same God, same worship, but now we just call it Christmas. We just put Christ in the beginning of it. Go ahead and keep reading. Is that all of that? I think it's a little bit more than that. Matter of fact, just to put some little heavy on it, Rom, if you could give me Luke 11 and 15, because that is in the scriptures. So when you sitting there putting a tree inside your house, you pretty much doing idol worship and bringing it in your home and decorating this tree, just like how they put their gold from their earrings and put it on that golden calf and try to dress up the golden calf. It's the same what you do with the Christmas tree. You got a little God that you trying to act like it's a Christmas tree, then you start to decorate it to make it look good. But you don't realize that that's a so-called pagan god that you trying to put in your house, and that's what it represents. Go ahead and read that for me.
Come. This is the book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 15. But some of them said, he casted out devils through Beelzebub, the chief of the devils.
Matter of fact, read the paragraph, the verse before that. This is when Christ was casting out devils, and what they were saying about Christ casting out devils.
Verse 14. And he was casting out a devil, and it was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when the devil was gone out, the dumb spake, and the people wondered.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them said, he casted out devils through Beelzebub, the chief of the devils.
So this Baal, this Beelzebub, is supposed to be the chief of the devils. Now, of course, all of this is, idol worship. But like I said earlier, you bringing in this tree, this Baal in your house, putting decorations and putting candles next to it, worshiping. I mean, there's a story with the candles, like I was saying earlier. Matter of fact, well, I'll go up to the one where it's speaking about candles.
The candles in some parts of England lighted on Christmas Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and used so long as the festive season lasts, were equally lighted by the pagans on the eve of the festival of the Babylonian god.
Mm-hmm. Now, the Babylonian god to them was Nimrod. That was their god. Nimrod was supposed to be a very great king. He died, and with him, they looked up him as being reincarnated as a Christmas tree. And one thing that they always did with this Babylonian god is they always took candles, wax candles, and surrounded his altar. Go ahead and keep reading, Ron.
To do honor to him, for it was one of the distinguishing peculiarities of his worship to have lighted wax candles on his altars.
So you got his Christmas tree, and then around the Christmas tree, like if you got a fireplace in your home, you're gonna put candles up by the fireplace and all that, almost kind of close to the tree, and putting candles around the house. You putting candles on there with next to his altar, putting gifts under the tree. That's you giving gifts to the Babylonian god. Like everything you doing has an origin. You just don't know why you're doing it. This is where it comes from. Like this type of stuff, you need to understand, like there's a reason why the Most High tells us not to do certain things. Right. All this is just in vain. Literally in vain. This stuff means nothing. Like the history of it just doesn't even make any sense. And even, the Most High tells you not to even go in the forest and chop down the tree. He literally tells you that. Not to. Matter of fact, Ron, give me I think it's Jeremiah 10, 1-4. Go ahead and read that for me. Because Most High literally tells you, don't do it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven.
So he's saying, don't do the way of the heathen, and don't be dismayed at the signs to where you looking up at the skies and you thinking, like if I don't do this, something's gonna happen to me. Go ahead and keep reading.
For the heathen are dismayed at them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3, for the customs of the people are vain.
So he's telling you the customs of the heathen don't mean nothing. It's in vain. It's pointless. Go ahead and keep reading.
For one cutteth out a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen, which with the axe.
So what they do, and he breaking it down like just like what we do. The axeman goes in the forest, chops the tree down with his axe. Go ahead and keep reading.
They deck it with silver and with gold.
Mm-hmm.
They fasten it with nails and with hammers that it move not.
So take the tree, take the axeman goes in the forest, cuts the tree down, and sets it at your Walmart, at your Kroger's, at your store for you to go and pick it up, throw it on your car. You bring it, you drag it in your house. You put it on a little water stand. You know what I'm saying, and then you nail it down to the little water stand, screw it in, so it moves not, and then you decorate it with what?
With silver and with gold.
With silver and with gold. That's Christmas tree 101. I mean, I know when I was growing up, before I was in the truth growing up, I celebrated Christmas too. It said a lot to you. Of course, we didn't get no real tree. It was kind of broke. We took the little plastic tree and we keep reusing that bad boy every year. Unfold that bad boy and throw it right back up in the attic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, man? It's the same concept. Taking the tree, dress it down, move it so it hammer it, so it move not, then you decorate it. Like these customs of the heathen are in vain. And this is the type of stuff that we need to step away and separate ourselves from. Ron, go ahead and give me back in that book. Start off at for that covertly. Should be on page 59.
You say for that one.
For that covertly symbolized.
Come, page 59, right column, bottom of the page. For that covertly symbolized the newborn God as Baal Berith, Lord of the covenant, and thus newborn God as Salaki, and thus shadowed forth the perpetuity and everlasting nature of his power. Not that after having fallen before his enemies, he had risen triumphant over them all. Baal Berith, which differs only in one letter from Baal Berith, Lord of the covenant, signifies Lord of the fir tree. Therefore, the 25th of December, the day that was observed at Rome as the day when the victorious God reappeared on earth, was held at the Natalis Invicti Solis.
Yeah. Keep reading.
The birthday of the unconquered sun.
And that's the winter solstice. When the sun, like I said, starts to regain its dominance over the night. Keep reading.
Kanawakan. Now the Yule log is the dead stock of Nimrod.
Go ahead.
Deified as the sun god, but cut down by his enemies. The Christmas tree is Nimrod redivivus, the slain god come to life again. Salaki.
So pretty much what happened is on like December the 24th, like Christmas Eve, you will take, if you had enough money to, have a fireplace or whatever, you would take some logs and put it in the fireplace. You burn the logs in the fireplace. This is a representation of Nimrod being dead. Like this is when his enemies came, killed him. He's dead. You burn in the quote unquote body, which is the logs, and then you bring the tree in during Christmas, Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, and that's him being resurrected. That's the whole concept of what the whole Christmas tree is. Logs in the fireplace. Now you bring the Christmas tree in. Now this is Nimrod. He's resurrected. He's the Christmas tree. Now put gifts under him, and let's put the candles on his quote unquote altar. Let's dress him up, put the silver and gold, make him look all nice and pretty, and now we're gonna put gifts under his feet. Everything has an origin. Like this whole thing, like I said, starts off in November. Everybody starts to get cozy. You know what I'm saying? Start to get that Christmas spirit, start to get moved. You know what I'm saying? You get that little chill down your back. Like, oh, it's Christmas coming up. Oh man, it's getting like this. This is one of the most wicked times of the year. Even one of the most depressing times of the year. Especially when you lose a loved one and they start thinking about, man, we celebrating Christmas together and things of that nature. Or when you try to come together with your family during Christmas and then the Christmas fight breaks out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because maybe you didn't give somebody a Christmas gift. You didn't think about them, but you think about the other person. Things start to come out at the Christmas Christmas dinner. You know, like this is like one of the most wicked times. But we still do it. We still get down with the get down. Like I said, the scripture's telling you not to do it. Most High tells you not to do it. Yeah, we still do it. Like most Christians don't even know that Jeremiah 10:2-4 about the Christmas tree is even in there. Why? Because Christians don't read the Bible. You find this stuff out with because of the UPK. Because of UPK, you know that the Christmas tree is in the Bible. You know that Christ is black. You know that the Jews are black. You know who your enemy is. Because we bringing it out to our people. We waking our people up. Instead of just sitting in the building and letting your pastor sing you a song, dance around, telling you God love everybody, collect your money, you go home. And you celebrate, and then you put a Christmas tree in your house and put gifts under it. And then tell your kids, Santa came and put the presents under the Christmas tree. You trying to tell me a big jolly oppressor put Christmas tree and bought all my kids gifts? I can't even take credit for it.
Right.
Stranger came to my house and gave us all gifts. What that look like? Then they say, we're trying to put, we got to put the Christ back in Christmas. Well, it ain't have nothing to do with Christ in the begin with.
Right.
How you gonna put Christ in Christmas when he didn't have nothing to do with it? Unless you just want to say we want to put the Nimrod back in Christmas. You can say that, but it ain't got nothing to do with Christ at all. Period. You talking about sun gods and getting freaky for a whole week because you celebrating Saturnalia. That's what you're doing. It's just like eating a cake made of manure, and then you put some chocolate frosting on it and feed it to somebody. You just decorate it. It's still some bull. You just still eating it up. Man, is any questions in the room? Say none on Facebook. Just remember this. There's a history, there's a reason. There's a reason why, like I said, the Most High tells us not to do these things. Because it all leads you down to a path of destruction. This book is a medicine. It is trying to keep you alive. It's whether if you want to take it or not. That I'm past class to Officer Room. Security announcements. Precinct Officer Room, security announcement.
We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, out of the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, And Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10 means tenth in the Hebrew, Mayasharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is the Feast of Purim, the 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month, which is Monday, February 14th and Tuesday, February 15th, 2022, out of the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirts, pants, headband, or scarf. And these are the security announcements.
With that, this is the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York, under Commander General YAHANNA. If you are not in this truth, you are not in the game. Shalom, Israel.